The signs of the Prophet ﷺ are there. And he has left for us a roadmap leading us into the signs of the last days and where we are standing now. It is reported today that the average American person, Christian, the average Christian in America believes that Jesus Christ is going to return in the next 20 years. The average Orthodox Jew, when they look toward Philistine and holding the West Bank and Gaza, they are holding onto that territory and maintaining it because they believe that a Messiah is coming. They believe a Messiah is coming. And they're holding on to it. They're looking at the signs of the last days. They make us watch TV. They produce the films for our children to watch. So our children are busy watching Aliens and watching Hollywood heroes. But they're looking at the situation on the ground. What is happening? It has reached the point where recently the Pope made a trip to Syria. You remember that? Where did the Pope go? They said he wanted to go along the journey of St. Paul to see where Paul went. But you know what he did also? He went to the Umayyad Mosque. And they say it's the first time that a Pope went to the masjid. Why would a Pope go to the masjid? What is the purpose for him to go to the Umayyad Masjid? He could go anywhere he wanted to. Why? Because in the signs of the last days, it is said that Isa alayhi salam would descend upon the Manara al-Bayda, the white minaret in Damascus. So the Pope is covering all angles. Even though he doesn't believe. He wants to be sure, if that's where he's coming, I want to see what it looks like. So the Pope is studying. He's studying us, you see? He wants to know what we're about. But we ourselves are not putting in the time to know what Rasulullah ﷺ has left for us. Treasures of knowledge, gems of wisdom he has left for us. It's an illusion. It's a delusion which is being spread around amongst us in these final times. And the shaitan has become so sophisticated that the attack upon us is not necessarily in many parts of the world a physical attack and a hot war. But the attack can also be a cultural war. And in these times, we are seeing everything moving toward one world government. Globalization. One world culture. And we see it now in clothing. We see it in food. And I never understood this until last year I went to Mecca. And I used to live in Medina for many years and got to know the people of Medina. And especially the young people in Medina. And we went to Mecca, and we made the salat in the haram, and afterwards we went outside to a new building, Bin Dawood, and we went inside the building, and there were people there, Bedouins and people from the Gulf area, in their niqabs and in their clothing, and they were waiting for Mecca Lotto. The Mecca lottery. They're waiting for the lucky number to come around. And you put your lucky number next to the Kaaba. And then when it's time to eat, where do they eat at? McDonald's. Kentucky Fried Chicken. Baskin Robbins. This is where they eat. The young people, all of them, they don't want their food. They don't like their spices. They want burgers and French fries. Globalization. One world culture and one world government. In Medina, we made salat in the masjid, Masjid al-Nabawi, and a little Arab boy was making salat. He stood up, and he had his thobe on, and he had a baseball cap on. That's the new style. They have a baseball cap and a thobe. Okay? I'm not saying it's haram to wear a baseball cap, right? But it was strange to me to see him in this baseball cap and a thobe, because a baseball cap means something to a person from America, right? We know what it really means. So it was time for Salah, and he turned the baseball cap around to make Salat, and the name was Levi's. Levi's is Levi, a Jewish tribe, a family of the Yahud in New York City who made millions of dollars making pants. So now he's got Yahudi on the top, and then the rest of him is Arabi, is from here down. And so they attack you right through the nausea, right through your head, using that tube in the television, sending the message straight into the control part of the brain. And so this is happening to the young generation, so they feel more comfortable in the Western clothes than in their own Islamic clothes. One world culture moving towards one government. It is not yet the Dajjal because he's a person, but it is Dajjalic type of culture, making you hate yourself. You're living in a false paradise. And when the Dajjal would come, wal-iyadhu billah, he will have something that seems like a Jannah. And he has another one that seems like a fire. That's his test. And so you look at the discotheque, the lights are flashing, and everybody's smiling. And the Olympics are here. And then on the other side, they say, look at Soma Ramadan, they can't eat. And this happened to us in Cape Town, in South Africa. They had one of the largest events was happening on the Millennium. And the Millennium night was falling in Ramadan. You remember that? On the odd nights in Ramadan. Last 10 days. Fitna. And they were targeting Muslims in our city. It is so bad in our city because there's 120 masjids in the city. And the movement has potential to grow. They build the discotheque, it looks like Masjid al-Aqsa. And they have 7 levels of dancing called rave. 7 levels, like 7 heavens. And they even have a special place inside the discotheque for some Muslims who are maybe hypocrites or whatever, but if you're hungry, you can eat halal food. They have halal food in the discotheque. You see? Who is that to catch? The Muslim youth. It's to catch the Muslim youth because they are preparing for the last days. They see it coming. They see Armageddon, a major war. And if our young men are like little girls with rings in their ears and ponytails, and they're not sure if they're male or female, how are they going to stand up against the enemies of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? How are they going to do that? So they're attacking the youth, sending them messages to take them off the path. So we need to consider this. We need to look into our communities and to provide alternatives for the youth. Teach the young men how to be Muslim men. Let them play sports. Let them learn martial arts. Take them out into the woods. Let them get up in the cold and make fajr. Teach them rujula, to be men. Otherwise they will be taught to be little girls. And so they will not be able to stand against the enemies of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.